Here is some information about sleep to help you relax or perhaps even fall asleep. Research shows that in the days leading up to a full moon, people go to bed later and sleep less, although the reasons are unclear. If it takes you less than 5 minutes to fall asleep at night, then you're probably sleep deprived. Ideally, falling asleep should take between 10 to 15 minutes. Also, did you know that tiredness peaks twice a day, around 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. for most people? That's usually why you're less alert after lunch. If you're someone that has trouble waking up on Monday morning, then you should blame what's called social jet lag from your altered weekend sleep schedule. Also, we are the only mammals that will willingly delay sleep. Stress, physical or mental illness, living or sleeping arrangements, family history, work, diet, and exercise habits can all contribute to insomnia. Did you know that insomnia is not defined by the sleep you lose each night, but by the drowsiness, difficulty concentrating, headaches, irritability, and other problems it can cause each day? Being awake for 16 hours straight decreases your performance as much as if your blood alcohol level were 0.05%. Just note that the legal limit is 0.08%. Going without sleep is likely to make you hungry, as levels of leptin, an appetite-regulating hormone, fall. In the 17th century, getting up in the middle of the night was normal. People slept in 2 segments divided by an hour or 2 of alertness, which would give them time for reading, praying, intimacy, or socializing with others. One job in early English mill and factory towns was to knock on people's windows and to make them wake up for work. Did you know that elephants sleep less than any other animal? You may have heard that an elephant never forgets, but scientists aren't sure why. It's thought that humans process memories during REM sleep. Elephants, on the other hand, have been observed to only go into REM sleep every 3 to 4 days, and they only sleep about 3 hours. Daylight savings can also be a killer. When the clock moves forward, we lose an hour of sleep, and the number of fatal heart attacks rise. When the clock falls back, we gain an hour of sleep, and the risk of heart attacks lowers. Did you know that the average person can survive 2 weeks without water, but only 10 days without sleep? Stress or anxiety causes more than half of Americans to lose sleep. Lack of sleep can affect your memory, as sleep triggers changes in the brain that solidifies memory. A little sleep loss is enough to dampen your immunity. This makes you more susceptible to colds, the flu, and viruses. Each year, sleep-related errors and accidents cost U.S. businesses an estimated $56 billion, cause nearly 25,000 deaths, and result in 2.5 million disabling injuries. 85% of police officers, 80% of regional pilots, and 48% of air traffic controllers fall asleep while working, according to research. 41% of medical workers admit they have made fatigue-related mistakes, and 20% of pilots have admitted to making a serious error due to sleepiness. Did you know that some car rental contracts make you promise not to drive on fewer than 6 hours of sleep? And typically there are about 100,000 auto crashes caused by drowsy drivers annually. This is probably due to the fact that 7% of Americans at least have admitted to nodding off while driving, according to one study. 3 of the most significant world disasters were caused to some extent by sleep deprivation, including the 1989 Exxon oil spill, the Challenger space shuttle disaster, and the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown. Here is some information about getting to sleep. Did you know that scientists have determined that counting sheep is ineffective for putting oneself to sleep? They say that it seems to be too dull, and that imagining a calming landscape generally works much better. 1 in 4 married couples sleep in separate beds. 8% of Americans sleep naked. Apparently, one of our biggest sleep distractions is 24-hour internet access. While regular exercise early in the day usually improves your sleep, sporadic or evening exercise can actually keep you up at night. Another thing that can keep you up at night is being too hot. Your body temperature needs to decrease slightly for you to fall asleep. If it's too hot in your room, it can prevent you from sleeping. Something else that can prevent you from sleeping is drinking coffee. It can delay your internal body clock by 40 minutes. Watching TV or using your phone, tablet, or laptop in the 2 hours before bed can also affect your sleep. These devices emit what is known as blue light, which tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime. Did you know, while you're sleeping, apparently you can lose over a pound of weight from exhaling and calories burned? It's impossible to sneeze while sleeping. Your brain selectively filters out noises that might wake you up as you sleep, specifically those that don't suggest you're in danger. Exposure to noise at night can actually suppress immune function even if the sleeper doesn't wake. There are 5 stages of sleep, but just know you do not move through them in order while asleep. Typically, you move through them in order the first time, then you move back and forth between select groups of them. Light exposure, even just to the glowing numbers on an alarm clock, can cause sleep disturbance even if it doesn't wake you up. Most people burn more calories while they sleep than they do watching television. So let's talk about your dreams. Today, only 12% of people dream in black and white. The rest of us dream in color. But before color television, just 15% of people dreamed in color. Did you know that you can only dream about faces you have already seen, and that humans spend an average of 6 years of their life dreaming? Just know that if you are snoring, then you are not dreaming. People who dream up to 3 to 4 times more than they usually would when suffering from depression. Men have dreams about other men 70% of the time, but women dream about men and women equally. Your ability to remember your dreams vanishes quickly. You forget 50% within 5 minutes of waking up and forget 90% within another 5 minutes. Did you know that scientists still have not discovered why we sleep entirely? Researchers have been able to measure brain waves and find out a little bit about what is going on in our brains, but they still don't know why sleep is necessary for humans. The latest research recommends 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night for healthy adults. However, it has been discovered that some individuals can function normally without experiencing sleepiness or drowsiness on as few as 5 or 6 hours of sleep, while others need 10 hours of sleep to function normally. 30% of American adults sleep less than 7 hours per night. However, adults who get less than 7 hours of sleep per night on a regular basis are more likely to have diabetes, asthma, or even cancer. Research shows you'll sleep better during a new moon and worse during a full moon, although the reasons are unclear. And did you know humans can sleep with their eyes open? However, only a physician can truly tell if someone is awake or asleep. When you move to a higher altitude, it's likely you will experience sleep disruptions for a while. In fact, the higher the altitude, the more significant the sleep disruption. Research suggests that this is caused by lower oxygen levels and changes in your respiration. The good news is that you will probably adjust to the altitude in a few weeks. Did you know that morning people are more likely to be successful in their careers? The perfect nap, according to NASA, lasts for 26 minutes. Lastly, almost everything we know about sleep was discovered in the last 30 years. I hope you have found this relaxing. Until next time, goodbye.